And Dr. Xu, we want to thank you for your leadership to our community over the years. And I also want to thank Chilling and Derek and so many others on whom I'm on a first-name basis, Grace. You've done so much to help America understand the tremendous talent that is in our community. We want to thank you. I also want to join Chilling to welcome the many distinguished leaders here tonight from across the country who are blazing new trails for Asian Pacific Americans in our communities all across this country. Congratulations to the 10 Asian Pacific American leaders from the public, the private, and the nonprofit sectors being recognized tonight for their contribution again to the community. And thank you once again to Mary Milben for that beautiful rendition of America the Beautiful. This evening is a wonderful occasion to recognize and celebrate the leadership and achievement in the Asian Pacific American community. Throughout my life, as you've heard, I've worked to help other Asian Pacific Americans and our communities and other underserved communities access opportunities in mainstream America. During my tenure as Secretary of Labor, the department launched a number of annual conferences to show people the path forward on becoming a federal employee, and also how to access government procurement opportunities. As every department in the federal sector, the federal government, have goals that we've got to meet in terms of minority contracting. So I wanted to make sure that all underserved communities understood the opportunities that were available. And then the Bureau of Labor Statistics, which is a part of the Department of Labor, began to record the employment data of Asian Pacific Americans. That was in 2003. That was the first time that our country knew about the employment patterns of Asian Pacific Americans. So it was the first time that Asian Pacific Americans' employment data was broken out in a separate, independent category. It was a historic first. Also, the department's labor law materials, as you mentioned, we expect people to comply with the labor laws, but we don't tell them what it is or help people understand. So the department translated the labor law materials into a number of different languages, including Chinese, Vietnamese, Korean. I see State Senator Susan Lee here, so State Senator, it's great to see you here as well. I know how much you always support the community as well. And then the Department of Labor at that time, we established paid internship programs that recruited applicants from traditional underserved communities, especially among the Asian Pacific American community. And since I became Secretary of Transportation, the Department of Transportation has begun to initiate greater outreach to underserved communities to acquaint them with opportunities in the transportation sector. The department has held job fairs to increase the diversity of the transportation workforce, especially in trucking and aviation, where there are shortages of skilled professionals and workers. And there are various units within the Department of Transportation that have sponsored training for those interested, again, in doing contracting business with the department. And we've also established a new Secretary's Internship Program. You have to go on our website, www.dot.gov, and find all these things. We also have had new initiatives launched to increase the diversity of the federal workforce. This, again, also included workshops on career training. How do you enter the federal government? How do you get into the government procurement process? As I say to people, I can't give you contracts I don't like wearing. That would not be good enough. But what I can do is show you the roadmap so that you yourself can see what the opportunities are within the federal government. The department has also sponsored programs to help underserved communities understand other services and how to meet many of the department's goals for minority contracting. And going forward, in September of 2018, the Department of Transportation will host a student career fair sponsored by the Federal Asian Pacific American Council, FAPAC. All of these initiatives underscore the importance of human capital in strengthening our country's transportation infrastructure. This is also a key part of my 3 priorities as Secretary of Transportation. Number 1, safety must always remain number 1. 2, we need to address the needs of our country's infrastructure to increase the competitiveness and productivity of the economy. And then 3, engaging with the emerging technologies to address legitimate concerns about safety, security, and privacy without hampering innovation. The Department of Transportation spends over $77 billion on infrastructure every year. And this year, on top of this amount, the department will also disperse an additional $10 billion provided by the Omnibus. This is a down payment in the President's infrastructure proposal, which will help to build and repair and rebuild state-funded interstate highways, bridges, and freight projects and airports as well. In addition, the tax cuts and the deregulatory stance of this administration have jump-started the economy. Since 2016, economic growth has picked up, going from 1.6% to 2.3% in 2017, and it will be much better in 2018. 3 million new jobs have been created in the last year alone. The unemployment rate fell to 3.8% in May of 2018, an 18-year low. And it ticked up slightly to 4% in June because more workers were returning to the workforce because they feel that now there are more jobs available. And the unemployment rate for the Asian Pacific American community was a remarkable 3.2%. A fact that we now know because we now track Asian Pacific American employment data. Today, the most recent estimate shows that our community is nearly 7% of the total population, or nearly 23 million strong in 2016. In fact, from 2000 to 2010 alone, the Asian Pacific American community grew by 43%, faster than any other racial group in this country. As our community has grown in numbers, we're increasingly contributing to the economic vitality and cultural diversity of our country. Businesses owned by Asian Pacific Americans generated $707 billion for our economy in 2016 and employed over 3.6 million workers, the best record of any ethnic group in this country. Last May 27, 2017, I visited the New York City Chinatown and viewed an exhibit of early Chinese railroad workers who built the Transcontinental Railway, launching the economic and industrial expansion that made the United States a world economic superpower. We have come a long way. Now, Asian Pacific Americans have won Nobel Peace Prizes in the sciences and the arts, flown into outer space, designed some of our country's most acclaimed public buildings. Asian Pacific Americans are forming cutting-edge technology companies, and Asian Pacific Americans have been appointed to the cabinets of 3 United States presidents. And Asian Pacific Americans have also distinguished themselves in military service, and many have made the ultimate sacrifice to safeguard America's freedom and opportunities. The progress made by Asian Pacific Americans in mainstream America is a testament to the values our community holds dear, especially our emphasis on family, hard work, and the value of a quality education. We have so much to share with mainstream and we should feel very confident and very proud of our heritage. Because against this backdrop of increasing contributions to America, there is an issue occupying more of our community's attention and concern. And these are policies that result in limiting the access of Asian Pacific American young people to educational opportunities in America's institutions of higher learning. The U.S. Department of Justice and the U.S. Department of Education announced on July 3rd, 2018, a change in guidance to America's educational institutions, supporting a return to recent Supreme Court rulings. Let me say that again. The U.S. Department of Justice and the U.S. Department of Education announced on July 3rd of this year a change in guidance from the previous administration to America's educational institutions, supporting a return to recent Supreme Court rulings. These two departments believe that outreach to communities of color, to underserved communities, are of course important and should be continued. But they also affirm that admission policies must respect merit and not diminish those who have sacrificed, invested in themselves, and achieved economic excellence. This issue has enormous significance for our community, for our children, and future generations. Your voices count, as does your vigilance. Never doubt that today, we as Americans are an integral part of mainstream America. We have so much to offer, and increasingly, more and more people are paying attention. It is so important, therefore, to celebrate and articulate our contributions to this country in events like today, and to make our contributions known to wider audiences in every way possible. I am so proud of every single one of you. I'm so proud of Chilling, her board of directors, for having the vision and the courage to establish an organization like this that celebrates Asian Pacific American contributions, achievements, and leadership. Thank you so much for inviting me to be here tonight. I am so honored, and thank you for what you do across America in your individual communities to show leadership, to highlight Asian American contributions and the tremendous benefits that we bring to mainstream America. Thank you so much.